And now a second local breaking news alert. This in Arlington, and that's where a water main break is causing quite a headache for people who live in that area. It's on Townsend Road in the Avesta Townsend apartments. The water has even seeped into some people's homes. Channel 4's Francesca Amiker is there live. Fran, has the water been shut off?
Mary, it has been shut off within the last 30 minutes, but a lot of people are just now coming home, many of them getting off the bus, and they are just shocked at what they are seeing. But first, before I show you what they're seeing, I'm going to go ahead and point you to these JEA crews that have been here for at least the past hour. This water main break actually happened just after 2 o'clock today, and these JEA crew members, that's the area where the break is. They have turned it off. They're still working on it, but this is Fort Caroline Hills and Townsend Boulevard. But I also want to go ahead and show you what they're seeing. The water was going down this hill, and if you look this way, the water has since receded, but you can see that there is still something that looks like a lake in that area. Much of this water was actually inside of the homes of nearly a dozen units here at Avesta Townsend Apartments. And we also have some video that we were able to shoot before we were escorted off the property. Inside of many of these units, this is what it looks like. Many of these people are going inside, a lot of their things ruined. Many things unsalvageable. One man actually allowed us into his home. He said he's a disabled person and he lives with many disabilities, and now water is everywhere in his kitchen, all over his electronics, also throughout his bathroom. And that's what it looks like for many of the people here. But again, it looks like it only affected the people who live on this side of Avesta Townsend Apartments here. Management has been working, trying to figure out what they're going to do for these residents. But as soon as we know more information as to what caused this water main break, we'll be live with the latest. For now, reporting live in Arlington, Francesca Amiker, Channel 4.
She lives on 10th Avenue. Channel 4's Francesca Amiker joining us live with a look at the damage. Francesca, anybody hurt?
Joy and Kent, no one is hurt, fortunately, but someone could have been hurt. Now, just imagine buying your dream home just 30 days ago, and then this tonight. You hear a loud boom, and this is what you see when you walk outside. Now, I want to go ahead and speak to the mother of 3. She lives here with her 3 children and her father as well. What happened? You were inside.
Yes, I work from home, and as I was working, I knew the storm was going on, and I heard the crackling and the popping, and then all of a sudden a loud boom. I heard my dad, he yelled, something fell. The lights went out. When the lights came back on, I come outside and total destruction. My new home and my truck.
Tracy, I know it's difficult right now, but I want you to walk me through what we're seeing right now. Come over here with me and just kind of point to what we're looking at.
So this is my truck. I use this. This is our only source of transportation, which transport my children back and forth to school, and as well as my dad to the doctor's appointments.
And your dad's blind, right?
My dad is blind, and he suffered from stroke, so having a car is extremely important.
I'm sorry, Tracy.
And I just moved in the house 30 days ago.
And Tracy, go ahead and show us also, there's some more damage over this way as well. What are we looking at here?
The whole carport has fallen in. We haven't completely finished moving in and moving all of our items. So the tree just came down, took the whole carport and everything that was underneath it.
I know it's very, very difficult for you.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you so much for speaking with us. Again, you live here with your 3 children. You just moved in 30 days ago.
30 days ago, yeah.
And your father lives here as well. He's blind, and this is your only way of transportation. Do you know what you're going to do next?
I have no idea what we're going to do next. I don't know.
Well, if anyone is out there and they can assist this family with perhaps collecting this tree damage, it looks like it's a limb.
I don't even know how to get it off. I don't even know how to remove it.
If anyone is out there and they can help Tracy and her 3 children and her father, that would be great. Also, she just bought this car here, and now the window is out of the back. So please, if you can, just go ahead and tweet me, or you can send an email to, of course, News4Jax. We'll definitely answer. For now, I'm live. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Francesca Amiker, Channel 4.
In Beaver Street, and right now police tell us no arrests have been made. Channel 4's Francesca Amiker is on the scene and joins us live with the latest. Fran, have police given you any more information?
They certainly have, Mary. Someone is at large for killing 2 men in this neighborhood. Now, right now, I'm standing on Broadway Avenue, and you can see that the crime scene tape is right here next to me. Now, they have a large portion of this street blocked off. I'm actually standing on Broadway Avenue, and that's a block away from West Beaver Street. Now, we're not sure what house was involved here, but we do know that police have been out here, crime scene investigation units and K-9 units. Now, police are telling us that shortly after 5 o'clock today, some shots rang out. Now, neighbors heard those shots and called 911, and when police arrived to one of these homes off of Broadway Avenue, they found 2 men dead. Now, when I asked about the men's ages or race, they weren't able to tell me any information except for 2 adult males have been found dead. No gun has been recovered, but of course that's led to a lot of speculation in this area. Now, right now you're looking at some video that we shot earlier of this scene when it was a little lighter outside. But again, they've just been canvassing the area, speaking with witnesses and trying to gather as much information as possible. Now, I'd also like to point out that a lot of speculation is going on tonight. Many neighbors coming up to us, asking us which house this occurred. Police have not made it clear what house is the house where these 2 men were found. But again, we just know it's off Broadway Avenue. And when people are asking police, they're telling them the same thing as well.
When we arrived, it was determined that there were 2 adult males dead inside a residence at that location. At this point, it's very preliminary in the investigation. We have witnesses that we're speaking to about the incident to try to determine what happened.
Again, plenty of speculation as to who these 2 men are that are now deceased. But again, no information about their identities has been released, and they will continue to work this case and again, gather evidence as the night progresses. For now, reporting live, Francesca Amiker, Channel 4, the local station. Have new information for you. We now can confirm that one person was shot somewhere either inside or outside this Burger King right here. When I was on scene about an hour now, we have been seeing detectives speaking to Burger King workers as well outside on the patio. I also want to point your attention to this door right here on the right-hand side. Earlier, I saw detectives taking a flashlight and pointing the flashlight inside of the store, as well as on the sidewalk leading towards this blue motorcycle that you can see right here on your right-hand side. Now, again, we can see that the entire parking lot is completely roped off. I can say that we just received a notification from the sheriff's office stating that they will be giving us more information in about 15 minutes. Also, I want to say that the homicide unit has arrived on scene, and you can see that there are a couple of crime scene unit vans here as well. But again, JSO is on the scene and investigating a possible homicide. Again, we're not sure. We're waiting 15 minutes to get all of the detail, but we do know that one person was shot either inside or outside this Burger King right here on the south side. And as soon as we learn more information, I'll be sure to jump back in front of this camera and let you know the latest. We're now reporting live on the south side. Francesca Amiker, Channel 4. Tom, the residents here at Eureka Gardens didn't just send this letter to the Department of Housing and Urban Development. They went a step further and sent this to multiple agencies in Jacksonville, including the Department of Health, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, the fire chief, and even the mayor, who we heard from today. He said he was so concerned about this issue that he has assembled a team to work with HUD and get to the bottom of this issue. What was the point of that letter?
To reveal the poor living conditions in Eureka Gardens.
Mona Lisa Arnold is one of the many residents who helped construct this letter to the Department of Housing and Urban Development Tuesday night.
What is that down there? Look like that mold there, all on that ground there.
She showed us and told us about some of the concerns that residents placed in the letter to HUD, hoping the department will re-inspect all 400 units in the complex, checking carefully for health and safety concerns.
I'd be sleeping. After a while, I just hear pow, pow, ta-da-da, pow, pow. It just scared me.
So scared that she does this.
Put the chair behind the door like this for I can be safe.
And sleeps like this every night.
Well, I can't even sleep in here unless it's the daytime, because I'm scared of the bullets going to come through the window. So I don't even sleep in my bedroom. I sleep on the mattress right here on the floor in the kitchen because I can't breathe, and that's the only air I can get.
Aside from safety, the letter breaks down 13 specific issues that residents say prove why the complex should not have passed HUD inspection in August. Mold on walls and floors, leaky plumbing, and there were even claims that the contractor for the air conditioning units is not licensed. The letter goes on to say most of the apartments have limited ventilation, improper electrical outlets, pests that include bed bugs and roaches, and many appliances that don't work. Tenants also alleged that those with disability are not given downstairs apartments, and residents say they have no privacy because they say the landlord comes into their homes without notice. We spoke to the owner, Richard Hamlet, over the phone. He says he just learned about these issues last Thursday.
It concerns me because my business is to provide top-rate quality housing, safe, decent, sanitary housing.
Hamlet says right now there is a lack of communication between residents and management. In October, he hopes to bridge that gap by completing a certified inspection in every unit where residents can show inspectors their issues. And that owner also told us that he walked this very neighborhood recently, and he says that he was also concerned with what he saw. So within the next 20 to 30 days, he does plan to have certified inspectors come out here and go to every single unit and actually hear from these residents who live here, and they'll point out the issues, as I mentioned in the story. Also, when I went into this office earlier today, I asked what residents could do if they were just fed up and finished, and they handed me this packet. This is a packet of subsidized apartment search, and basically I will put this on our website, but this is multiple housing in Jacksonville that residents can opt to go to. You can just give Eureka Gardens a 30-day notice, let them know that you would like to be out of this housing, and you can choose from all of these options. And again, I'll place this on news4jax.com. For now, reporting live, Francesca Amiker, Channel 4, the local station.
Hundreds of people in northwest Jacksonville are living near one of the most polluted sites in America. That's what the Environmental Protection Agency reports. Fairfax Street wood treaters, that is, used arsenic to treat wood for more than 30 years. Tonight, people living next to Fairfax Street are finally seeing some progress. Some say not enough is being done. Channel 4's Francesca Amiker spoke to some of the people living in the area. Fran?
Ken, I've been covering this story since January, and in that same month, a meeting was held by the Department of Health and the city to tell residents about the progress that was being made on that facility's piece of land. Well, today, when they saw some activity being made and some demolition happening on the property, they gave us a call to see what was going on.
Nobody seems to care about this area and the people that live here.
Ed Griggs says the voice of this older community is not being heard. For years, residents have asked the city what it plans to do about the former Fairfax wood treaters plant that has turned into an eyesore and has also been deemed one of the most toxic sites in America.
They were dealing with asbestos, they were dealing with arsenic, and that stuff's still around. As you can see, they're down there trying to clean now. They're wearing masks and stuff. Nobody's told the neighborhood, nobody's told anybody anything.
One of the last pieces of information given to neighbors was this newsletter stating the EPA found arsenic in the on-site soil and people should not live or work on the property. I reached out to the city and was told this week workers began asbestos removal and demolition of the structure that once housed dozens of employees working under hazardous conditions. And Griggs introduced us to two of them.
I was 24 years old when I started working now. I'm 51 now.
Lorenzo Davis and Ernest Lundy worked at the facility for 8 years, stacking lumber that was coated with chemicals, unaware those chemicals were toxic.
We wore regular clothes just like we got on.
Before we had uniform, but then the uniform people wouldn't take the uniform no more. We didn't know why, because we turned them in, but then they wouldn't pick them up no more. So we had to take them home and wash them in our clothes.
Clothes that were contaminated. And now workers say they've been left with lifelong health problems like premature heart attacks, high blood pressure, and physical effects like these.
When I went home at night, I took off my shoes, my feet green.
Thought it was a skin problem like with a rash or something. Then they asked me, have I been around chemicals? That's when I had to tell my doctor so we could find out what's actually going on, because we was going at it the wrong way.
The workers tell me they knew nothing about the toxicity of their workplace until they received this public health assessment in February of this year. But more than anything, they want the city to acknowledge their medical problems and the health of the residents who have lived here for years.
I would like, first of all, for these men to get their help they need because they have very bad medical issues. Secondly, I would like for EPA to come in and tell us the truth. What is really down there? What are you going to do about it? If anything, stop lying to us, because that's basically all they've done.
I also Also want to reiterate that in that meeting in January, I was actually at it, and the Department of Health told these residents that they would have another meeting in just a few months to update them and give them a better area so that they can ask more questions in a discussion format. That never happened. It is now July. Also, the city did tell me today that they do not have a date yet to speak to workers, but they do have a set date for this demolition project, and it should be coming to an end on August 17th. We're now reporting live. Francesca.
Francesca, was anyone ever arrested for doing this?
Well, Tom and Mary, to her knowledge, the man seen knocking her down in this video actually got away. And the woman that I spoke to was so embarrassed that she failed to file a police report. She said she just wanted the night to be over.
I was just scared. I was really scared. I didn't realize how hard he hit me until I saw that video.
This woman says she never thought the night of March 12th would come back to haunt her. But that changed when she logged onto Facebook Thursday morning.
My mom shared the video from the news article or whatever, and she said, if this was my daughter, ... And I click on it, and it is a video of me getting knocked out by a dude at Sweet.
Bree can be seen in this video as a man came out of nowhere and punched her in the head. She says she was leaving a lounge with her girlfriends when an altercation broke out beside them.
These people they were screaming at each other, and I have no idea why. And then as we're walking out, they start screaming at me and all my girlfriends.
She says that's when a man hit her girlfriend, and 4 girls jumped on top of her. When Bree tried helping, things took a disturbing turn.
He just came out of nowhere, and then he hit me, and he just ran off. He did it for no reason. I had a huge gash in my elbow, a gash in my hip from falling. I had like a baseball, like my head was so swollen. I had a black eye, like it was awful. Both of my thighs were completely scratched up.
And all of this happened as dozens stood by and watched.
They were literally watching us screaming world star, like they were getting entertainment out of it.
Do you wish that someone could have just helped?
Oh, definitely.
Bree says police came to the scene and she's unsure if the man was ever caught. She just wants to forget about that night and wants to ask the attacker why.
Like, what was your motive? I did nothing to you. I have no idea who you are. Why would you punch a girl to begin with?
Again, Bree does not know this man at all, despite what the person who posted this video online originally wrote in the video's caption. Bree says plenty of police were there. She told me she did not want to file a police report, and she just wants to forget this ever happened. It certainly was, and he actually, like you said, caught that suspect on camera coming to cars just like this Land Rover in his parking lot, slashing it and creating this mess. But that man was caught on this surveillance camera.
Came to my shop in the morning and noticed the first car, flat tires on it, and I said, oh my God, what happened? Hit this tire. And then I pulled in my parking lot and I saw the other cars, 2 more cars, and I went to the side. The 4th car's flat tires on it, so I said, that's weird.
But things would get weirder when Mike Olibud contacted police.
He started doing his report. He started getting all these calls from the other officer. They're all over Springfield.
18 cars in all, slashed overnight throughout Springfield. 4 at this auto shop. This one belonged to the owner.
That's 4 tires right there slashed, and he scratched the paint on that truck too. He walked with a knife, whatever, and he scratched the paint on both sides.
And the owner even saw it for himself when he watched it on the shop's surveillance camera. You can see the man walking around the cars, ducking as a police car drives by, and slashing multiple tires.
It's right there, see it? I'll put my knife in there. So that's one of the tires was left. Yeah, that's right there. Right there. So that's, it looks like it's bigger, but that's how it looks like.
Since police are now looking for the tire slasher, News4JAX crime and safety analyst Gil Smith warns everyone to be aware.
The best thing to do is, like I've said before, just be a nosy neighbor. Just look out, watch everything, watch things going on in your neighborhood.
But this shop owner just hopes the man wielding the knife will be found.
For what? I don't see the reason behind that. He's bored or he got something against somebody here.
And again, this is an image that we have screenshotted from the surveillance video. This is the man in question who police are saying committed this crime. If you know anything about this, you are urged to call 1-866-845-CRIMES. 1-866-845-TIPS. Again, that's 1-866-845-TIPS. And this is just some of the damage that was done in this neighborhood. And when I asked the owner just how much this could cost some of the victims, he said roughly $400, and that paint job could be up to $5,000. And now reporting live, Francesca Amiker, Channel 4, the local station.
The Jacksonville.
Oh my goodness, Mary, when we first got out here, the water was past my knee. It's slowly gone down, but you can see I'm not going to go too much further, but it's past my ankle at least right now. But if I walk all the way to this apartment where these residents that I spoke to live, it actually goes almost to your half calf. And for the past couple of hours, I've been seeing residents come out here, gather belongings. A lot of them just say they're just trying to wait it out until the flooding goes down.
All the furniture is probably going to have to be replaced. We're going to have to go through and gut it and replace all the drywall, a little bit of the electrical stuff, and all the cabinets. We were pretty lucky, though. The only really personal effects that we lost are going to be a few clothing and a few shoes that washed away when we opened the door.
Andy Thornton says when he moved into these apartments 15 months ago, he didn't exactly plan for a waterfront view. But these waters were the result of Sunday night's downpour that left him and 7 other units off Stanley Road surrounded by more than a foot of water.
And our neighbor actually came over and warned us that the water was coming up really quickly. And about 10 minutes after he told us, it started coming in through our front door.
One neighbor who also lives downstairs let us into her home to see the damage.
Be very careful, man.
Floating DVDs, books underwater, water inches high in every direction. Fortunately, these tenants were able to elevate their couch on crates to keep it dry, but others, like Thornton, weren't so lucky. Residents are now just hoping the 2 retention ponds nearby drain quickly.
I spoke to the lady who used to live in my apartment back in the 80s, and she said that it flooded about 3 feet high back then, and it took 3 or 4 days for it all to drain away. Obviously, we hope it's a little faster this time. But I don't know.
And again, they're just going to wait it out at this point. Hopefully it does drain pretty quickly. That's when they'll begin the whole cleanup process. And when I spoke to the residents, they said that they don't own these apartments, so they plan to work with the owner to figure out the next best solution. For now, I'm live. Francesca Amiker, Channel 4, the local station. Over my shoulder, this is where the party rages. This is where the Concourse Restaurants actually sits. But let's go ahead and look a few yards away. This is where people actually live. And this is why they have so many complaints.
I moved in July 4th, 1979, across from the Concourse.
And how's the experience been since then?
Downhill.
Vicki Selner has watched the rise of the Concourse for the last 30 years. But she says the brawl that recently broke out at Reggae Sunday was the tip of the iceberg that now has these residents calling the city to act.
I have people making out on my cement bench in the yard. I have people taking their clothes off, vomiting, all kinds of parking violations.
And those same issues were brought to the attention of the city manager, John Regan, at a community meeting held Wednesday night.
What we're hearing is that the concourse is so intense and becomes so large that it's out of proportion with the neighborhood and it's degrading the quality of life, and it's time for things to change.
And residents recommended lots of change, suggesting the city enforce a maximum capacity at the restaurant, make Reggae Sunday a ticketed event, require certified security or hire off-duty police officers to work special events. Another hot topic at the meeting was neighborhood parking.
Within the neighborhood, because there's such a commuter load, there are tools that the neighbors can advocate for that control parking in the neighborhood. And they range from residential parking to post-it no parking to yellow curbing.
But people like Amber Wayne say those suggestions would only limit their ability to park as they pleased.
We pay a lot of money for our taxes to live in this neighborhood. I constantly am picking up trash. The impact that the Concourse has every Sunday is far greater than the impact that we have on a daily basis.
And there's all kinds of ways it can be to get solutions. But I'm glad that they're finally listening that there is a problem.
Again, you can see from that meeting, a lot of people were in that meeting tonight, and a lot of people are talking about the conch house here. Now, I did speak with the city manager, John Regan, and he told me that he will be working with the president of the neighborhood association to come to some sort of agreement. We'll find out when that meeting is, and of course, this will be a hot topic the News for Jax will be following. So as soon as we find out when there'll be another neighborhood meeting, we'll be sure to be at that meeting, and we'll give you the latest updates. Well, this first grader and this fourth grader that you're about to meet are a living testament that you can be any age and still pay it forward.
For some, paying it forward is an act of adulthood. But on Suffolk Avenue, that act comes in the form of two boys and their wheels. That's Tykees in the striped shirt. His friends call him TJ, but we'll get to him in a minute. This is Gerald. Good. And that's how he feels today. But just 2 months ago, someone stole this 7-year-old's bike. And that's when this 10-year-old stepped or pedaled in.
We mostly play football and soccer and play sticks.
Who wins?
Mostly me, because I got
all the time.
I got all the skills. I got all the skills with the sticks.
Like any friendship, these boys are always in competition. But when TJ heard Gerald's bike had been stolen, this fourth grader put their playful rivalry aside.
I had $911 at Brent Mart. But my teacher added some more because I've been doing good and all throughout the past few days.
TJ used good behavior at Brentwood Elementary to help buy the bike that he promised his best bud. And on Wednesday afternoon, TJ's surprise was revealed.
I said thank you, and I was keep saying it because I really miss my old bike, so I told him 3 times.
And Gerald's mother even broke into tears.
You hear about adults paying it forward, but not a 10-year-old child to a 7-year-old.
Gerald is now back in action, doing wheelies and tricks with TJ. And now they have plans to share their friendship with others by starting a bike club. But the boys say this friendship is just getting started.
As people say they love their friends really much, I love this one very much.
And Gerald now wants to pay back TJ, and TJ says he wants a Madden 15. But I told the boys, hey, if you're starting a bike club, the first thing you need is helmet.
Francesca Mathis was living with cardiomyopathy and congestive heart failure. Without a heart transplant, doctors gave her no hope of living.
Now she has received that much-needed transplant. Channel 4's Francesca Amiker has been following her story since March. She's joining us now with this hopeful update. Francesca, how's the patient doing?
She is doing so well, Tom. You know, Francesca Mathis has become one of my friends now, and I have seen her through her ups, through her downs. So I knew when my phone rang early in the morning last week that she received the phone call that she's been waiting for all along.
My doctor only gave me 6 months to a year, and so I don't have that time to wait on Medicare to kick in.
They say difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. And back in February, when Francesca Mathis was told her days were numbered, she was prepared to begin a very long and hopeful journey.
If Atlanta, Georgia tells me I'm accepted and I'm gonna pick up my life and just move.
We watched her as her heart got weaker every month.
I can't walk a long way. I can't stand up a long time.
She couldn't even walk or play with her 5 young children, but her spirits would be lifted in September when she was admitted into the Mayo Clinic and placed on the top of the heart transplant waiting list. She sat for 2 months, making flowers and butterflies, receiving updates from her doctors, meditating, all to keep from crying. But on November 4th, the difficult road and tears of sorrow would end, and her beautiful destination would begin with these words from her doctor.
He said, we have a heart potential for you. We have an offer for you. Would you like it? And I paused because I was like, what? And he proceeded to tell me a little bit about the heart or whatever, and I was just like, yes, I take it. Yes. And from that day, my life changed.
They were the words between life and death, words that meant the difference between seeing her sister, her father, and the graduations of her 5 children.
I couldn't stop crying. I cried from the time everybody walked in the room until the time they pushed the elevator and pushed me up to the 4th floor. I was crying. After that, I don't remember nothing else. I cried so much that day, I haven't cried ever since. I don't have no more tears.
LaQuisha says she was blessed, and her doctor, Juan Leone, explained just how fortunate she is.
She's one of 50 in our heart transplant list, and she's one of 4,000 in the United States waiting for a heart transplant. So she's very fortunate, and we are very blessed to have organ donation and people donating their organs.
After that day, my life changed. It's like I have two birthdays, December 8th, 1979, November 4th, 2015. My life changed.
All cried out. LaQuisha, who can now stand without getting tired and holds this heart pillow as a badge of honor, says when she leaves here, her new life begins.
Back in February the 12th, my doctor told me I only had 6 months to live. And here it is, November. I'm up, talking, walking, with a new heart, and I got a lot of energy. And I'm so happy. I'm happy every day of my life now. I'm happy.
Look at that smile. And now LaQuisha says she wants to pay back the world by becoming a foster parent. She does plan to pursue that in a year. Also, you heard there that her birthday is December 8th. So she said this new heart is almost like a birthday gift for her as well. And thank you so much to Mayo Clinic. They also provided a link for us on newsforjax.com. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about being a donor or curious to find out how many people are on the waiting list in America, you can just head on over to newsforjax.com. All that information can be found right there. For now, reporting live, Francesca Amiker, Channel 4, the local station.